Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's an all-you-can-geek Gamecast. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy,
What's up?
Corey Feinsod,
Ahoy!
and Tony Korkanakis.
Hello, hello.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners and viewers. We are live on Twitch right now. Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock. Do the movie cast, Gamecast, and do some bonus rounds. Check us out. If you can't get these live broadcasts, YouTube has all the content for the video stuff. Subscribe there. Leave us a comment. Love to hear from you guys. Also on Spotify and iTunes for these audios, if you still listen to the audio podcast, which I do myself in my car, so I don't blame you. All right, guys, Gamecast. Regular Gamecast. Going into some news here. We got a lot of stuff happening tomorrow. We'll get into in a second. But, Mike, kick us off with what you've been playing.
Mostly more Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
I'm bouncing up and down in the platinum range. It's funny because I definitely have a losing record, so you can climb while losing more than winning in this game, which is okay, I guess. You just have to don't lose too much, but yeah, and they're at their mid-season coming up again soon.
Yeah,
We're gonna get
Human Torch and Thing, right? The Thing?
Yep.
Yep.
And they were
Great.
going to do
Great timing with this. Yeah. Go ahead.
They were going to do a bit of a rank reset too, but then they decided they got backlash, and now they're not. Point. So they pivoted pretty quick, which was nice. Good to see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Like, so that's going to be slowed down after this now. Season release, like character releases, right?
Yeah.
This was like a double pack. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. No, it's still going great. And again, this Fantastic Four tie-in has been perfect for them timing wise. Really has been. So, those are great.
It's a coincidence.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Mike. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You're not getting that, or?
I'm waiting to play the Yakuza game first because Kingdom
That's too
Come
close.
Deliverance 2. Yeah, and I'm just a little more in the mood for something like shorter and lighter, like the Yakuza game.
Gotcha.
When I'm forward maybe more to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but it's gonna be like $100 hour to just be like that for a while. So I'm waiting.
I've been seeing ads on TV for this. I'm shocked. I guess great. Good for them. I hope it does
Kingdom
well.
Come?
Yeah, I hope it does well because I didn't see that the first
It's
game.
doing pretty
Yeah.
well as far as reviews go. So
Yeah.
I know a few people playing it. So
No, it looks interesting, but
Yep.
I'm getting towards an RPG out kind of mode in my. I'm like I actually can't wait for Yakuza as well. So I'll be moving into that too. In fact, like I'm really like thinking about Dynasty Warriors, which is like a good just slash them up, beat them up.
It's
kind of
funny you
mindless thing.
mentioned that because Eric down here, my friend in Easton, texted me. He's like, dude, Dynasty Warriors Origins is amazing. He's like, hands down, best Dynasty Warriors game ever. And I was like,
I
holy
gotta
shit.
play it.
Like,
I gotta play it.
that's what
I think that's
hear.
where I'm going next. I think I'm going there next then. So, cool. Corey, you've been moving. Any games? Not much?
Still not too much. No,
Okay.
nothing new or exciting.
Okay.
Like Rivals, I'm gonna try to get some Rivals time in soon. So hopefully we can team up there. But
Okay.
that's it.
All right. Tony?
Yeah, really just juggling Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, Rocket League, Final Fantasy 14. I think I'm giving up at Metaphor just because,
Yeah, that's me.
or at least
That's
saving
me.
for another time because I'm just not in the mood for that right now.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't you take a break? It's hard to go back to
It's
it.
so hard. It's
That's
so
me
hard.
right now, man. I hear
Because
you.
then, like,
And-
you have to regain the skills, figure out where you are. It's like, oh, where's that recap? I need a recap of what's going on. It's like, oh no,
Really
I can
do.
understand that.
And the thing is, Monster Hunter Wild is coming out at the end of the month, and just kind of like that, I'm looking forward to because I want to get on that like day one for change. And I already have a bunch of people lined up to play, so like I'm just focused on that right now. Whereas like anything else, I'm just like, hey, you're just wasting my time until that comes out.
That was the thing for Metaphor for me was like it's not a terrible story, but like there's no like I gotta get into this immediately. Like there's no hook. Like Persona 5 was an instant like hook. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have that in this game. I feel like it's not a terrible story, but it's for me it's like pretty straightforward, and I like the world, but it's just not. It's not engaging me enough.
Not grabbing
to
you.
Yeah, it's not keeping me enough.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
sure
really
it gets
wish
better, but
Yeah, I just really wish they moved away from that calendar system because again, after having played X amount of Persona games, where they're like, "Hey, you have
I wish. Yeah.
X many days until this thing happens." I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, I know this is the entire thing, rinse and repeat. Where I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna go because the thing is then when they're like, "Oh my god, this is gonna happen," I'm like, okay, it's not gonna happen because I'm gonna stop that.
Yeah.
Like clearly that's not going to happen.
Or else
right?
the game will be over also.
Right, and then game over. Right? So like it's just kind of it's like it's spinning its wheels. I'm just like, all right, great for the people who haven't experienced it before, or whatever. But
Or
it's just for me.
sometimes you have a good thing and you don't want to,
Yeah, no, I totally
far off the path of success. And
I totally get it. It's just when they showed it off a year or two ago, whenever.
Expectations.
My expectation was like, oh shit, they're not shackled by the Persona system, right?
Yeah.
So the Persona expectations were like, well, you have to have this, and you have to have the social link, and you have to have whatever. It was like, yes, like new chance to do everything. It's like we're doing all those things here, and I'm like,
yeah, just call it a Persona game, like
right?
Persona.
It's like if a company had a new IP that was like, holy shit, this is new and refreshing, and then for the thing, we're gonna start bringing back all these characters and. We're gonna reintroduce them, and it's gonna be like, oh, why is this fucking character in this series? It's like, oh, cool. I'm watching this because I don't like that character. I don't want to see that in this series.
Yep,
but
that's
whatever. Ran over.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some news. Where are we going first here? Let's talk Rocksteady last week. Did we talk Rocksteady last week? I don't think it made our news. I think it was after that. Making a Batman game. Did I put it on there?
I'm pretty sure.
I think we did talk about that. I put it on this news because I think I grabbed it accidentally for this week. So we mentioned it last week. If you didn't know, they're making a Batman game.
We talked about Rocksteady. No, we talked about BioWare last week, I thought.
Yeah, we did.
The Rocksteady thing was on Friday.
The Rocksteady thing came out later.
Because Jason Schreier posted it on his Friday.
So Rocksteady, for those wondering, Rocksteady is working on a Batman single-player game, but it is...
Allegedly.
Years away. It is years away.
Allegedly, they are working on a Batman single-player game now.
Yeah. And the video game division faces thin slate, leadership uncertainty, and the Wonder Woman game is in shambles right now. So, like, that's a Warner Brothers. That's Warner Brothers.
Last year, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, the whole company sounds
already
like
sunk like $150 million into that game.
Gosh.
Yeah, and if you're under the Warner Brothers umbrella, I mean, we just talked about multiverses last week.
Yeah,
right.
We did.
I wouldn't expect anything good out of this, right? And just kind of like we were talking about with Mass Effect and BioWare. I mean. They're like, even if they came out this year, whatever, like, hey, we're working on Batman, guys, and it's gonna be just like a very dark. Maybe we'll get the logo and a voiceover or something like that. It's like, oh, Return to Arkham again or something like that. I was gonna be like, okay, this game is at least 5 years away, minimum.
Yeah.
Right. So first of all, I'm not gonna get excited for it. But B, it's like exactly like BioWare. It's like, okay, the people that made the Arkham games that I liked. Aren't that a company anymore? It's just everything, but it's only a name, right?
That's it. We talked about it. I think we had that conversation on Discord. Like we didn't talk about that on the podcast last week, but it's like studios don't have the same name recognition. You have their name recognition, but they're not what you think they are. Like those studios are gone. Like Blizzard is a good example. Like just because it's Blizzard doesn't mean it's great anymore because most of the people that did those great games that you all loved are gone. Same thing with BioWare. Same, you know what I mean? We talked about that. And now with Rocksteady. Like most of those like great people that brought you those great memory games are not there anymore. So it's like you can't. It's disappointing to say it, but you can't get yourself hyped based on the studio anymore. You can't. Just can't do it. You know,
it's tough because I mean there are some studios that have a specific niche that they're known for, and like I do think there are studios obviously that
like
are doing things that are
gets you like
you can pretty much guarantee they're going to make a certain type of game, and it's like if you like that type of game you're going to like what they put out, but it's tough because you have these people that are just making the same game over and over and they get burnt out. Like I don't want to make like Master Chief games my entire time, but they are so good at it, that's all they do, and they get stuck, and then eventually there's like I'm done with this, and then you got to get new people in there, and so they're not going to have the same, obviously, knowledge or not necessarily reverence, but that's like ability to create the game that someone else has been working on for a decade or more. And so, you're going to have a dip in quality. And then, it's you have to wait for them to get better at making these games. But then by the time that happens, they're also on the move and doing something else.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's hard because it's one of those things where there's so much turnover. And with Microsoft, not necessarily like we're talking about Warner Bros., but like you don't know the contractors type of thing. Like how
18
long
months
do people?
stints,
Yeah, how long do people get to work on something for? And so so
That's
much
it.
turnover, so much burnout. It's tough to
Yeah, and
continue
not
to
to
make a
mention,
quality game.
not to mention games are taking longer, right? So it'd be one thing if this is like the Xbox 360, PS3 era, right, where or earlier, where it's like you could churn out whatever Assassin's Creed, Prince of Persia. I'll just name games from that
Year
era,
over
right?
year.
Where it's like, hey, even if we had to train up, like even if this is the B crew, like the juniors, that we like, hey, you guys cut your teeth on this game, right? It's a spin-off. It's the PSP title, whatever, right? It's like, okay, like maybe that first one isn't so good or average or whatever like that, but they gain that knowledge, they gain that experience, and then the next one has in 2 years or 3 years has the potential to be really good then, right? But when you're like minimum 5 years between sequels, if not more, right? We've looked at 6-7 years between sequels. It's impossible. It's almost impossible. And then you factor in layoffs, you factor in people just getting burnt out. Like, can you imagine working on a AAA game and going through crunch for a 6 or 7 year development cycle game?
No way. Yeah, no way.
No, like people just be like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
No, Mike, anything to add?
Well, the other aspect of this, even coming from me, who probably says the Rocksteady Arkham series is my favorite series in games.
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
A straight Batman game at this point, like those old ones, doesn't excite me that much anymore, especially this far after that series.
Well, you know that, and Conroy's gone at this point. It sucks, but it's like the excitement for that aspect is not there. So
yeah, because of that, and the like ceiling would feel like maybe Origins, where like you can tell it's other people just sort of puppeteering
the work. Like,
yeah.
Let me look over the shoulder. What do you got there? Let me copy that work.
So I don't know, and we have a taste of the idea of the Justice League in that. Like, I would kind of want something, not just a straight single player game, like other heroes or something more different than just trying to recapture stuff that they won't be able to.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because like if you're just gonna try to remake Arkham games, like just go back and play the games that were great. Like they're still available. You can still play Arkham City and Arkham Knight and Arkham.
I agree with you on that, but Warner Brothers doesn't see it that way. They say, why do we have this expensive ass studio? Why are we paying this talent and absolutely wasting them, right?
I'm shocked that we're not going to get a remaster or something in between.
Well, that's the thing, is they could probably do a remaster in the meantime, because again, minimum 5 years away, right? Even if they announced it this year at not E3, right? The Summer Game Fest. They could probably do like the collection.
Like a complete remaster of them all, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at Mass Effect Legendary Edition, right?
Yeah.
And that did pretty well from my recollection. EA talked about it. So you could do that, and that'd be great. But the only thing I will say that would excite me is that they're like, actually, it's a Batman Beyond game. That would hype me up. That would actually get me to going like, okay, well, I'll pay attention. I'll see your trailer.
If it's different, like that's the thing. It's got to be different. If they're just gonna retread Arkham.
Right. I don't want them to go to Arkham. I don't want fucking Bruce Wayne again. Just give me fucking Terry McGinnis. Give me Batman Beyond. Give me a cyberpunk, futuristic dystopia. Yeah, like I would love that.
I think
the expectations would be way lower.
That's a good idea, and I think it's a really good idea, because you don't have to worry about the Conroy aspect of things for people. Mm-hmm. You bring in a Terry McGinnis, and you get that Batman, the different style Batman. You can still have Bruce Wayne as the mentor thing, but it's a lesser role, so you can get another voice actor, and it won't be as impactful to people to play the game. I think it's a great idea. Are you guys listening, Rocksteady? Here we go. This is it right here.
Here we go, Warner Brothers.
Tony just gave you a free one. Free.
Yeah, for free.
Problem is they already canceled that game once.
Yeah.
No, they did, but
right, bring it back.
Where do you go after Suicide Squad, man? Like, where do you go after Suicide Squad? It's like
you're bottom already.
I can't imagine there's not at least one executive that goes, all right, well, Suicide Squad flopped to the point where, we had to think about at least considering shutting down the studio. It's like, what do you have the trash can over there? What? Batman Beyond? What's this doing here? Who put this here, guys? Like, come on, $10 million copies sold right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, can you imagine that? Like, as somebody that loves Cyberpunk 2.0, right? Like, a lot of the things with the gadgets and the enhanced abilities that you could get,
yeah,
like, that screams Batman Beyond Batsuit. Like, it does. I'm just like, holy shit. Like, imagine flying and gliding and, like, zip into, like, a flying car and all that shit. Like, that's awesome, but, whatever.
They have framework for that. For, like, Arkham Knight was a lot of gadgets with it, right? I mean, so it's like there's framework there for this already. Like,
yeah,
you could just adapt it into an actual good Batman game.
Like I said, they were making it, and then they're like, no, for some reason, Kill the Justice League is a better idea. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, though, I'm not sure if it was Batman Beyond. I think it was a Damian Wayne game. That's what Jason Schreier reported.
I think you're right. I think I remember that.
I thought they were both.
I think it was a Damian.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit of column A.
I think there is,
B. But I'm just saying, cut Damian Wayne out of the existence. Just fucking go Terry McGinnis.
Yep. All right. Other news: we've got Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater trailer officially launched. Give us a release date too. What's the release date for this?
August?
Is it August something? I don't remember the specific one.
I saw it last week, so I don't know either off the top of my head. Sorry, everybody.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, thank you. So the trailer came out. This game looks phenomenal. Like please be good. Please be good. I didn't play the game.
I mean,
so it looks so good though.
Based off of one of the best games.
Yeah, I know, but that's the problem. We were talking about it last week. I think we were just talking about the worry of will they fumble this? Then we got a trailer that again still builds my hype for this thing. It looks great. And Mike, I mean, you're psyched for this game. I know this is one you're most anticipated. That's what we talked about last week. So, yeah. I mean,
I first played this game only a few years back. I don't know. Maybe it's longer ago. Probably it's longer ago than I think. It seems relatively recent, but it was probably like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I talked about it on this podcast.
Yeah, I think they were on Game Pass. Yeah.
Yeah. So I played. I really liked it. But the thought of doing that stuff with modernized-ish controls, I still don't expect it to play like MGS5 because it would make the game like too easy. But something closer to that with those scenarios sounds great to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. So, what's that?
For that, I'm curious about where they draw the line about how modern they want to make the controls, because I do think it would make the game rather easy if you went like MGS5 controls in that game.
I will say, but they're going to adapt it. They'll adjust
they have
too.
They have to adjust it because one of the common criticisms of Twin Snakes, which is the GameCube remake of Metal Gear Solid 1, was that the first-person mode just makes the game too easy because it's just like you just pop into first-person mode, pop, and it's like cool. Like none of these fights are challenging anymore. So I'll obviously have to do some balance adjustments. I can't imagine in 2025, and knock on wood, right? Because there's always that possibility. But I'm just saying, I would think they would go through the testing and be like, actually, yeah, this is too easy. Let's make it challenging. Because those games can be very hard, especially if you play on the higher difficulties. People, again, just to dabble into that Soulsborne conversation, like we had hard games all along. Just people, for some reason, just didn't care until Dark Souls. And I say that as a Soulsborne fan. But ironically, just talking about what we did with Rocksteady and BioWare, like this screams that Konami is training up a new team to give us a new Metal Gear Solid title after this.
That's what I get from this. It's like a little hype.
I guarantee you 100%. After this is a new Metal Gear Solid 6 or whatever.
Yeah, this is that game they can use to carry them.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
to get it. It's already been in development, I'm sure, for at least a year. That game, maybe 2, and this is their release to come out and then follow up.
Get the experience. Yep.
Also keep Metal Gear in the spotlight a little bit.
I'm sure that game, even if it started a year or 2 ago, it's still another 3 years out. So it's like you can hype people up though with this game. Say, hey, look, coming soon, 2 years, 3 years from now. Mm-hmm. So cool. All right.
So
what's that?
What do we feel about no Kojima Metal Gear original?
I'm fine with it. Honestly, my opinion of Kojima has just gotten worse over the years. The more I hear about him,
he's a weird dude.
Because people talk way more openly about it now that he's, it's his own studio and he's not just an employee of Konami. But it's just, not only that, but like his whole rubbing elbows with celebrities. I don't give a fuck about that. I think it's cringe every fucking time he pulls up Death Stranding. It's like Conan is on here. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me, man.
Yeah, it
I
was
don't
Death
fucking
Stranding
give
a
a
good
shit.
game? Is that's all that matters?
Yeah, like that's
Is
all
it
I
a good
care
game?
about.
Like, yeah, you could
Yeah,
say it's okay.
question mark, right?
Yeah.
But not even that. It's just a lot of things is coming to light now, especially after Death Stranding, where it's like, oh, like Kojima was held back by a lot of stuff in Metal Gear Solid by his staff saying, we can't do this, dude. Like that is crossing the line, and we don't want to do that. And then we saw some weird shit with Death Stranding, and it's like, wow, you hear these stories about what could have been in Metal Gear Solid. You're like, that would have been pretty fucking like cringe and scary if you did his people didn't rein him in. So I'm all for it, right? Like, and that's fine because Metal Gear existed before him. Obviously not in the same capacity, and I respect Kojima for what he did, but the legacy of that series is beyond him. It's bigger than him. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. All right. Let's before we go into Sony stuff, we'll talk some quick numbers. Let's talk some quick console numbers, actually. So Take-Two, I didn't accidentally talked about console numbers. I guess it was accidental, but it was part of their own release. So, okay. Let me ask you guys. Forget the companies. Put them out of your mind. If you had released a console that has only sold 29 million in, how many years is this now? 5?
Yep.
Yeah,
right?
20. It's been 4 full years.
Yeah.
4 full years. Is that successful to you? Like that's like
No.
that's really not even close to successful. Like that's worse than the Xbox One, isn't it? Because that's Microsoft right now.
Yes, it's tracking behind Xbox One. I've been saying that for at least close to a year now.
The worst part about this news was they reported 27 million, around 27 million last year in 2023. So then 2024's numbers came out and they're showing 29 million. So they sold only 2 million consoles in the year of 2024.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Completely collapsed everywhere else.
Yeah, I was gonna say they are not trying to sell consoles.
No,
they're not even hiding it. They're actively like trying to steer you away from it, which is so weird.
Like, I mean,
you can play these games anywhere else. Don't worry about buying a console. You want to play Forza? Sure, play it on a different console. Go ahead.
I mean, look, R&D wise, they definitely didn't recoup their research on this, but like console wise, like cost wise, I'm sure they've ramped down the production at least, and it's not costing them much to have the system at this point.
Is it?
But it's definitely not a good return on investment in terms of development of it. I don't think it's costing them much now. They've probably ramped down production.
I don't know, man. Sitting. Like, why? I mean, Sony, who's doing way better than Microsoft, had to increase their price of the console outside the U.S.
Yeah.
The only reason they haven't done it in the U.S. is because people would fucking throw a fit over here because we're price sensitive about consoles for some reason and nothing else.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Japan has had 2 price increases on the PlayStation 5. So for a system that's selling twice as good as Microsoft Xbox,
we always had consoles going down in price. We've always had this.
That's the normal trend. In 5 years, you usually expect it. Yeah.
And you're not getting those you're not even getting price drops with Xboxes. Right. And they're not selling.
Right, and especially this past holiday season, because Microsoft usually gets pretty aggressive around the holiday season.
Yeah, there wasn't much.
This past holiday season, there's nothing. There's no deal. There's
They don't care. They don't care.
Nothing. They just don't care anymore. Right.
Yeah. Just moved on.
We're getting back into that. What is Microsoft? It's confused messaging, and
I just don't know what they're planning on.
This is not an Xbox.
Like, I can't. I just, what are they doing for another hardware? Like, because they've already researched it already at this point, so release it. Like, I don't get that. Like, at this point, cut it.
I'm shocked. I would be shocked. Like, why are you gonna try to compete again with Sony? Like, what is the purpose after already telling all of your customers that you don't care about the hardware?
Like, if you want to bring like a Switch device to the market or something like that, you want to bring your own handheld, okay, whatever, that's fine. But an actual proper console at home, I just don't see it. Like,
do you think they're going to be better if they release a handheld?
No, but I think like cost wise, it's cheaper for them to produce that.
Cheaper?
I think so.
The Steam Deck costs how much? 500 something?
I don't know what the production cost is. I mean, how much it sells for? I'm talking like production cost. No, they're like, I've seen them. They're like $399. I think they're $399. The Steam Deck, the original 64 gig.
Okay, I'm sorry. The base model, the lowest tier model, the LCD model is $400.
Yes.
Do you think Microsoft is going to come out with a system that's cheaper than $400?
No. I mean, I don't, but I just think cost-wise to build is cheaper than their console that's out. The actual home console. You think so? I don't know.
If they make a console cheaper, it's going to be like a piece of garbage. Like, there's no way you can compete.
I don't disagree with you on that. You're right. It's just like I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know.
What is the point? Like if they're gonna put a console out just to go out and just put their games on everything else,
yeah.
Like why? Like,
especially if they move past.
Like you're just telling everybody to buy every other thing. Just get a PC.
That's the thing. Like,
what are you doing?
It seems like what's that, Mike?
The only purpose, and it doesn't make sense for them, but the only purpose is it's a cheaper, easier alternative to
It's
a
not
PC.
anymore.
It's not anymore though.
Would it be?
It's
still?
close. Mike's not wrong here. Yeah. But with the cloud gaming stuff built into your TV, like you don't need an Xbox console.
That's what I'm saying. Their whole advertisement is this cat is an Xbox. Like, what you're telling everybody you can do everything on Xbox anywhere you want. Why build a console that does nothing different or why buy a console that's not going to do anything special for you?
That's the thing. Like your forecast for the next system have to be lower than 29 million. Lower than 29 million.
You can get a freaking great machine right now for like $700 that does everything an Xbox does and way more.
Yes, that's true. My thing is like, especially now if you're looking at the trend, right? We just talked about looks like they're moving away from like the Game Pass push. The only reason why you would sell it is to make it a subscription system kind of thing for your Game Pass games to play it like in one spot, because you don't have that store except for on PC. You don't get it on the Switch. They're not gonna put it on the PS5. So it's like there you have subscription sales, but you're not selling subscriptions. So
well, that's the thing. It's like the only thing that I could see them doing is selling a little like a Echo type of little desk, like a hockey puck type of device that plugs into your thing.
An Apple TV.
All it is a streaming. Yeah, it's just a streaming thing. But that's already failed with Amazon and Google. Both tried it, or whoever. And they both failed on that. So it's like, again?
Microsoft will succeed.
Yeah, right.
But no, this goes back to, I've said it before, right? Where I believe we will get one more dedicated Xbox hardware because they've sunk billions of dollars into R&D, right? Because as soon as the last one ships, you have to start, forecasting and pre-developing that next one, right? And that takes a shit ton of money, right? So I believe they're not going to do like a sunk cost or the cancel it. Like
this will be the last.
We're going to piss away $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
That's too much. They're going to be like, okay, we'll release it, but we probably don't have big plans for any successor one. And if anything, I think they're going to partner with all these weird ass third party vendors now to be like, hey,
seems like it.
You could release something that's called an Xbox and create your own specifications of what that's going to be.
The
right?
next
NVIDIA,
3DO?
go ahead, do it. Right? Yeah, like do whatever.
3DO,
right?
Yeah.
It's because it doesn't make sense for them anymore, and we've seen Game Pass shift so many times already since it's been announced, right? And we haven't even really talked about the most recent one where it's like, oh, day one on Game Pass Ultimate only versus, Game Pass, I don't know, I don't even know what the fuck they call it anymore. Like Indiana Jones, you had to have the premium tier to play that game day one, right?
Yeah.
So we've seen that change, and I'm pretty sure, and this is why Phil has been very quiet, except for that 1 week he had a couple interviews, that, what's his name, the CEO of Microsoft, Satya
Nadella, yeah.
He's come out and he probably is like, nah, dude, like we just sunk $80-something billion into your fucking thing, and you're selling 29 million consoles. Like, forecast this is probably less than 40 million when all said and done in another 2-3 years, right? It's like, we're done. You're a third party now. Microsoft is third party. We're just going to put our games on as many platforms as we can, and that's it. Like, you cannot just buy Activision Blizzard King and be like, exclusives, guys. You just can't. You literally can't. We've seen this, right? We've seen it with Starfield. We've seen it with Call of Duty. Those are what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do from there, right? Minecraft, I've said that before. If they made Minecraft exclusive, that would have killed that game.
Yeah.
That would have absolutely killed that game.
It's absolutely crazy to go back to the Activision Blizzard purchase when everybody, like all the fanboys are foaming like, this is going to be great for them, exclusive games. And you're like, this is the change of the company. Like, this was the change.
Moments later.
Yeah, this was like, this is the change to a third-party company that you didn't even know was coming. And
right.
I didn't know it was coming. I
didn't either. But it's I mean, I saw that, like, I even said it, like, there's no way for them to become profitable off of this, right?
Yeah.
Just
if they go third party, like, I could see them getting back to it, but not exclusive.
Right, no, but I'm saying, like, there's no way you buy this company for $80 billion and then expect to sell just video games to make up that, or Game Pass subscriptions to make it up for in a reasonable time
No, I
frame.
mean, they
On your
want
29
that
million consoles.
ongoing monthly
Yeah.
income
Right.
from
Yeah.
the subscription services or from the MOBA games or mobile games.
Right.
and
Could
stuff
you
like that.
imagine like just making Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox with 29 million consoles out there?
No, you can't.
Like, could you
No.
like
EA would just come out, and that would actually be the biggest thing to push people to Battlefield. I guarantee it.
yeah.
And
So-
the thing that pisses me off the most is Microsoft's been trying to like not tell people, like they haven't come out and just said like this is it, like guys, like they're
No.
still trying to
stringing them
pretend.
along because they
Yeah,
have
they're
this,
still
like Tony's right though,
pretending, like-
because they have this system in development. He's right. The R&D is already there. Like it's out. It's coming out. It's happening. So they're going to push you to get that console next, and that is it. That is going to be it.
I mean, it would save so much more money if they just canned it right now.
I know, but you put so much into it. You launch it. You recoup a
Yeah.
couple losses. You're going to get
What do you mean a
losses.
couple losses? Like
You
advertising,
recoup some of it. Like
you recoup way more by just canning it right now. You save
sun
so
god.
much more.
No, I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but I'm just saying the mentality of. So here's the thing, right? The saving money, you have to also think about the logistics of the people cost, right? Where it's like if you suddenly cancel, okay, guys, next Xbox canceled. What are all these hardware engineers doing? What are all these other people what is the marketing team doing? What is all these other teams that I can't even name off the top of my head doing? Like, you just have all these people that you're paying salary.
Well, no,
that
you're
aren't
not
doing
paying them
it.
anymore. They get laid off.
Let's not will that into
Corey is
existence,
just-
right? Let's not
Corey's
will
just
that into
Hey,
existence.
that's what's gonna happen. That's what's going to happen.
wow.
And it's sad, but it's true. I mean,
we don't-
that's how you. I mean, if you're Microsoft, and I don't want people to lose their jobs. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, if you're Microsoft, you're not. If you're talking like from a financial like saving money and trying to be more profitable, like just throwing
get
a
that.
console out there to die, like it's gonna do worse than Wii U. Like it's not even gonna sell 10 million copies.
11, 12?
10
No,
million.
I bet you can get to 20 million. Like,
Please.
It's rough, man, because
I doubt that.
We'll see.
If a new Xbox comes out and it's just a competitor to PlayStation 5, I can't imagine it does more than 10 million.
I disagree with that number, but I think you're too low
What
on
is
that.
it doing different than PlayStation 6?
Yeah, I get that because you still got your.
And
That's what they're
PlayStation's
stringing
gonna
the
have
fans
exclusive.
along.
You're gonna have all the
that.
PlayStation. No,
You have the core. It's still going to buy it, which is going to be more than 10 million people that buy that. I'm sorry. Like, I disagree with you on that.
no way. I mean, if you had the core,
We're arguing about 10 or 20 million. We're not arguing about like.
I'm just saying, you still 30 million copies of your like console that you're pushing hard, and now you're gonna try to sell 10 million copies of a console you're trying to kill. Like,
Yeah. But
actively,
it's not going to be. They're not
there's
going to
no
talk
way.
about it. They're not going to say they're killing the system. They just that's it.
They've been like with their actions these past 2 years. They've actively been trying to kill their console market.
Just wait. Let's go to a third party. Mike.
What?
Do you think that Microsoft is still going to release exclusive on their system?
Timed exclusives.
It's
There you
not
go.
selling
Yeah.
systems.
No.
That's what would. That would.
You know what they should do for their next system? They should include Game Pass Ultimate for no additional charge, only on that system.
I think that's not.
That
what
is a losing
There's no
proposition.
chance they're going to do that because they can't put
that is
Game
a
Pass.
losing proposition.
They can't put
unless
Game
you're a
Pass on
consumer, then
anything.
Sure.
Like if they could
That's how
sell, if they could sell Game Pass to be out on PlayStation Network and on Switch, like if they
Game
could sell
Pass
that,
Game
If they
Pass
could
is
sell
supposed
that.
to be the razors, dude. That's supposed to be the razor. The Xbox is the I'm sorry. The Xbox is supposed to be the razor. The Game Pass is supposed to be the razor blades where you make your money off. You can't just give that away for free. Then you're not making money.
It wouldn't be for free. It'd be an incentive to buy the system. And
But
then it's
then
everywhere else.
They don't make money off the system, dude. How are they supposed to make money then?
It's not happening. It's like they're not making money. That's my point.
all right.
They can't. And not to say you're wrong, Mike. I think that would sell systems, but it would not make them any money. They would lose money.
Right, that's the thing.
You're already
So
going to
they
lose
should
money.
not
You're
do
going to lose
that.
money on the hardware already, and then by doing that, you might as well just burn it out back. So, big pile of cash in the backyard, just burn it up.
If they gave it away, I mean, yeah, then it could go over 10 million.
Let's finish up. Let's move over to Sony. So we've got Sony.
Well, hold
has
on,
two.
before you do that, Microsoft did announce, or not announce, but there's a rumor that, what was it? What did I post? I posted something.
What?
About something coming out to PlayStation.
I missed something.
Yeah, you missed something.
Mm-mm.
Hellblade 2. Hellblade 2.
Yes, Hellblade
That's
2.
the rumor. Yeah. Yep. That was just you just.
Supposedly, we might even see it tomorrow because Jez, whatever his fucking name.
Well, that's what I was going to talk about.
There's
There's a state of play coming tomorrow, guys. Now, obviously, we always luck out with that with our podcast. Predictions for that. So, Hellblade 2 possibly, which I absolutely will agree with. I think that's a definitive showing. You got Doom there. Big Microsoft presence tomorrow. What do you think?
You'll see Forza because that's coming out soon. You'll see Doom. I think that's coming out soon. That's from the Microsoft side of things. Probably Flight Simulator, right? Because I think that's rumored pretty soon. Maybe even Indiana Jones, right? Because
Starfield.
I think Indiana Jones is a perfect.
Get them all out there.
Indiana Jones is a perfect game to put out on PS5. Like, let people enjoy that game because it's so good and it deserves to be played. And they're just killing it on a 29 million consoles total sales system. You're killing it, and it deserves it. Like, it deserves to be played. So, Sony-wise, who's going out for Bloodborne? Anybody?
I will. I mean, I tried to will it into existence.
Let's
for the
forever
predictions, the bold predictions for the year.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction that I think this is it. I don't know why, but I've got this I've got this vibe. I think it's happening. I think this is it. I think it's it. Like they told somebody to take their thing down before, like the remaster. Somebody was doing their own remaster, right? Originally, like they told them.
Yeah. So there's two things that was in development. One was a PC emulation of Bloodborne at 60 FPS, I think, or something like that, and they just got cease and desisted, which isn't exactly a thing. But if I look at Nintendo, say for example, when Nintendo throws cease and desist, the last time I remember was the Metroid 2 version. Yeah. And it's like, oh, why did they do that? And then a year later, it's like, oh, Metroid 2 remake on 3DS, right? But that's Nintendo's playbook, not necessarily Sony. But when I look at that, I'm like, that is kind of interesting.
That's what I saw.
And they also had Bloodborne Kart or Nightmare Kart, whatever the fuck it's called. But that is kind of just loosely inspired, not directly a Bloodborne thing.
I think it's happening. Let's see if I'm right.
I will say the other thing that makes me lean into this a little bit more is because of that recent investment into the Katawaka entity, where they wanted to buy them out, but they just wound up doing an investment instead because that is the parent company of From Software.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if maybe that now they own a little bit more of a share. Maybe they can help be like, hey, you know what? We do want a Bloodborne remake after all.
I'm for it. Clearly, I'm for it. I want
to. They already did Demon Souls.
I know. Yeah. I'm just saying it's gonna be like Demon Souls 2 or something.
You get a Demon Souls 2 and you like it. Oh man! All right. Anything else you guys think, real quick, on that one?
Definitely seeing Ghost of Yotei again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Have to.
Yeah,
I'd like to see something new, but
I don't think we're getting that.
I don't think we're seeing. I'm sorry. We might see something smaller new. That's like kind of what I was saying. Maybe like a what is it? Ratchet and Clank, or like
do you think we get like a
Jack
Astrobot?
and Daxter,
like a quick Astrobot follow up, like a
I don't think we'll see a follow up just yet. They'll probably announce
like an
expansion. They'll probably do like DLC. They'll probably announce DLC. I can see that.
Yeah,
they've already been doing like free DLC, but I could see them doing like
bring some like of those PSP titles that you had, like bring some of those back.
Yeah,
like Potapon or Roco Loco or whatever the fuck it was called.
You're asking them to admit that the PSP was real? They won't do that.
They love it. I mean, PSP is great.
It was a great system. It was a great system.
What's so funny though is, and I really encourage it, I'll post some of the links in our Discord, so pitch for people to join the Discord. But since Yoshida has retired, he's been pretty loose with his lips in interviews now because he's not beholden to that. And one of the recent things he has talked about is he's like, I'm really sorry about the PSVR guy. Like he's like, I really thought it would be a bit bigger yet. But it has been interesting. He's talked about like the Vita and how really when Monster Hunter was announced for 3DS as an exclusive, he's like, I knew I knew that was it for our handheld. Like that moment, I knew it was all over. Like just right, like shit, we can't. And they tried with the like Freedom Wars and some other game, but it's like nothing is. You can't take down Monster Hunter. So he talked about that. And whatnot. So it's really interesting. I would really recommend people to check out those interviews. But yeah, I'm hoping for Bloodborne and a small PS1 title. I think they'll save any big guns for the Summer Game Fest.
Yeah,
period.
I think so.
Formerly E3.
Yeah. Did you guys get affected by the outage? I didn't really play during that time, so it was like a 15,
No.
16-hour total outage for PS Network.
I
Yeah,
don't even
that
have
was
my
shit.
PS5 unboxed. It's still intact that way.
Yeah, I couldn't
Marvel-
play Rocket League for my dailies the one day, but I was like, okay, I'll just
It
go play something else.
sucked. It's like for Marvel Rivals because they had a post about it. They're like, you can't play our game right now because PSN is down. Like, it's not our fault. We're, you know what I mean? Like, they had a post about it. And I was reading that some of the PS5 Pros weren't letting people play actual physical copies because it couldn't verify the licensing through the external CD-ROM drive, the Blu-ray drive. Like,
Yeah, I think the way it works, it has to go online to check.
Just double
or
check,
something.
yeah, at a certain time,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and they couldn't do it because
Couldn't do it.
I remember there was an outage on the
How do you share your games though?
the PS whatever, and I remember being so mad because what happened was, mine, what was it? It was either my internet was down or the PlayStation Network was down, but I wanted to watch a Blu-ray, and I never used the Blu-ray feature of the. It might have been my PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
So I put in a PS4 or a Blu-ray disc to watch a movie, right? Because I was like, oh, I'm in the mood to watch this movie I have, and I put it in, and it couldn't authenticate like my license or whatever, so I couldn't watch my fucking Blu-ray movie. I was like, this is terrible. This is the worst timeline. Like, why is this a thing, right?
Yeah.
But here we are, and it sucks for that. But this is the reality we live in, and it sucks that you have to pay for this kind of shit, right? I mean, I hate it, and it's more expensive than ever. I think the base tier is $70 a year now, right?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could say they gave no updates except for the first. They posted.
No, they were really bad about communication.
Yeah, they need better communication next time about what's happening, like how long they expect it to be out for. They didn't give anything for anybody. It's just like, oh, it's back. So.
Yeah, which sucks, and talk about it too. But it's happened to Microsoft too. So yeah, fuck these consoles. Whatever.
Yeah. All right. I think that's going to wrap up this episode, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, we're live on Twitch Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. Join us for the movie cast, the game cast. If you missed the live broadcast, go on over to YouTube. All of it's over there. Subscribe. That helps us out. We would appreciate it. Leave us a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. See you guys next week. We are out.